Boom, we're live. Happy Friday, kids. It's humid and rainy. It's gonna rain tomorrow. What else is new around here? I am, of course, your host of Famine Studios. Famine. Glad you guys are here. Just wrapped up another great episode of World Makers Consortium. And I thought, why not go live? Why not get a little more goofing done? Some kit bashing. Bjorn, welcome. Yeah, how's everybody doing tonight? I am working on some various kit bashes. Anthony had sent a Mandalorian body with like a wrap around his waist, and I liked it, and I thought, okay, let me keep working on this guy. And I think I've landed on like a Mandalorian pilot. So that's something I'm kind of working on over here. It's in my head. What up, Red? Got that going. Just kind of piecing them together, deciding what I like, what I don't like. I'm working on a dark side assassin that's gonna work for Darth Vader in Gimmick. Because in the universe that Gimmick is, the same, the Force applies the same way, but because there's so few Force users in this world, it's not like the Jedi where there were thousands of them and only a few dark side Force users. No, this is like almost on equal terms. So the Force is dispersed and they're strong. Like, remember the Clone Wars, the original animated cartoons where they were like throwing water balls underwater and like energy pushes and stuff? These people are going to be doing that because they can in there, and I have an idea of doing a like an assassin or an executioner, not an inquisitor. This is kind of like he's a fanatic, right? So Anakin has learned, or Vader has learned, I should say, to kind of just wind him up and let him go off on his own and correct him when he needs to. So originally I was going to have him have a helmet, and then I was thinking of like a different design for having him with like a almost like a turban or something like that. But I'm liking the idea that he's an alien, because that shows me that this Anakin is like Clone Wars Anakin. He was non-discriminatory when it came to other species, other life forms, whereas like the Empire in the universe that he was pulled from before it was created, they're very xenophobic. It's all human beings. Thrawn was a rarity, whereas Anakin's like, okay, I'll work with these people, even though he's a tool. Like, I don't mean like he's a tool like he's an asshole. I mean, like, quite literally, he is a tool for accomplishing his goals. He will go ahead and use him, so he's comfortable working with him. So I've got that going on. I have another Quinlan Voss that's going to be coming out, but I wanted some knights and some warriors for both sides of the Force. So I got a Balin Skull, and that figure, let me tell you, the Balin Skull figure, that head sculpt, probably the head sculpt of the year. It is spot on. Fucking spot on for Ray Stevenson. I don't know if they put in extra work on it because he passed as like a great homage to it, or just like the scanning tech and the way that they did it is so good. But man, it is hats off. They did a tremendous job on that. Great figure too, and it's going to be a great body for, like I said, this kind of dark side fanatic that I'm making. So I do need to figure out how I'm gonna paint the body, what I want it to look like. Let's see who stumbled in. Ant stumbled in. Audi, what's up? What's up? He's saving for Bjorn's got a headache. I'm sorry, friend. Saving for Joe Fest. I actually think it would be funny if they continued to issue Ray Stevenson's head with the updated season. I'd laugh. Okay. All right. So, got that going. I've got a few other kit bashes on the bench. I was also just fussing around with this guy, the Mandalorian cop. I guess what it is. Let me wipe that screen off. It looks like the screen looks good, but I feel like there's a smudge on the camera. This was entirely me. Better? Better. But, yeah, the Mandalorian police officer, or whatever the fuck they are, guards, royal guards. I have two of these. One of them's just missing this, so I'm going to have to make a duplicate face shield for him, but I gave him the Coruscant Guard rifle. And I think that looks perfect. So I think I'm going to hunt down another one of those rifles. I may have one in one of my containers and throw it with the other guy, give him a visor, and have them standing guard over the Mandalorian camp, the Camp of the Broken Tusk. I've got a sigil for their hideout / homestead when I get there. So I got a bunch of things going on, which is the way I like it. Yeah. But that was a fun live stream. I thoroughly enjoyed myself and got to watch those guys do their race, play their Star Wars game, have fun with their Mad Maxing. So let me move a couple of things here real quick because I'm rearranging the room and getting stuff ready for more world building. Tomorrow it's going to be raining all day. I will likely be home all day because that's really what I'm feeling, is just to be home out of this hateful rain, because all it does is rain every weekend here. It's not a joke, it's not an exaggeration. We've had precipitation every weekend since November. And in the words of the little kids in that movie about the thing in the ground, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Nobody else is gonna jump in? You know, sometimes the mayhem is the friends we made along the way. It is too damn bad. Got a little black paint there. I've got a brush. Like I said, I'm gonna take care of this blue that's on everything, because I want this to be like a leather. So once I have it blacked out and I let it get good and dry, because it is a little humid, like I said, I think I'll make a really, really dark brown, like almost a black brown. It's the best way I could describe it. And then I want to hit the high points on the armor to make it pop. But man, what a figure, what a sculpt on this too. I can't wait to get the visual dictionary for season 1 of Ahsoka, so we can learn more little details and factoids about Baylan Skoll's outfit. Yeah, it's the temperature's supposed to drop tonight here to like almost freezing, and then tomorrow the high is only supposed to be 60 with all this rain. So is what it is, man. Planet's telling us exactly what it thinks of us, and we're doing nothing. So that's good. And I like to think of this guy that I'm making here, this like assassin slash fanatic, is kind of like the way Dooku looked at Asajj Ventress in the animated series. Like, you wear the trappings of the Sith, but you're not a Sith. And so this guy is like constantly trying to prove himself and give himself over to the dark side. But you know, as well as I do, the Force chooses and wills itself as it will, and as it does. And this cat maybe doesn't get that. I think one of the big changes tomorrow that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my lamp over here because I like to be able to see. I am very much a person that likes, when I'm painting or working on anything fidgety or small like this, is to have a lot better lighting than I do right now. That's just me. You put them in the computer, and then you import all the music into the computer. One of the parts that I like about Baylan Skoll's outfit here is the buckles all down the back of his spine. It reminds me of, you know, their relationship, him and Shin Hati, was less like, to me it was less like master and apprentice, and it was less like father and daughter, which I some people got, which I didn't really take from that. And more like a knight and their squire. And you know, their lightsaber designs helped me with that, the way that their outfits were, but just like having a uniform that someone has to help buckle you into is another one of those things that just adds to that in my head. Like, they had way more of a, you know, less of a master and apprentice and more of a knight and a squire. And you could argue that those are the same things, but you would be wrong. Yeah, it's a great buck, and man, they would be really, really best served to use like the tall nature of this figure, especially the leg sculpt and everything, to give us a Savage Opress on this body. What's up, David? Welcome. Haven't seen you in a minute. You know, it'd be really cool for them to give us a Savage Opress or Savage Oppress. Because it's been a minute, and I don't think we ever got like a really articulated or even like bare bones articulated TVC version of him. It was always the Clone Wars version, if my memory serves. And also Black Series. Cool. TVC deluxe figures. I'd be down with that. Be interesting to see what they go with to make him deluxe. Is it just, you know, oh, you get his both versions of his lightsaber, or like what makes him deluxe, I wonder. Oh, we'll get a Merrick for sure. But in my own headcanon, I do like to think that this, the metal that their armor is made of is Cortorsis. And since they kind of leaned on that heavily in Acolyte as being a thing and kind of brought it to the forefront, I think that'd be pretty neat. You know, maybe this dude found some ancient Sith armor, or maybe he traveled the galaxy and got some Cortorsis ore and had it forged by a blacksmith into some armor to mimic the trappings of the Sith warriors. Who knows? I'll get there as I build this character in my mind and the paint kind of tells me. But the armor is really cool because there's a lot of like divots and, you know, dimples, and it looks like it was handcrafted. It's very much like a knight's armor that was made. It's even got like straps that go around the arm. That's cool. I think for me, they'll stay right on the figure. He's got ribbing on his back. Yeah, he's got like buckles and clasps that go all the way down the back of the outfit. And I think that's really cool. And almost as though he has to be put into it like a knight's armor, like his ward, probably Shin, or maybe they have a service droid on their ship, or perhaps some of the Night Sisters help him in and out of it in the show. But I think it's really badass, and it just adds the whole medieval knight look. Yeah, scoop him up while you can. She, Shin Hati, I don't have her. She was expensive from the get-go. Like, this was the normal $16.99 that the MSRP is, but the Shin Hati figure that I've been seeing is $25-$30, and like it's tough to you know, I would be hard pressed to pay that for that figure, hoping that it comes down, because I do want to get another Balin, to have a Balin Skull figure. I think that, you know, it's just a really fascinating character, really cool look, but for this case I want this to be someone else, and it will be. It will be. Local man takes time to hand paint action figure completely black. News at 11. Speaking of news at 11, for some reason, I still haven't figured it out, and I've been trying to like look when I get a chance on Facebook and local news site, but for whatever reason, our local news channel has been in town all day doing interviews with like locals and trying to, I think they're trying to like promote small towns and promote small town businesses, but goddamn, there ain't nothing in this town. So like, how much of a news story could you guys build off of here? But who knows? New dinos, baby. Tomorrow's the big day. Get yours. Put them in your pocket. But you got to save for joke fest. I almost called it Joe Con, which also would be funny. Yo, we're here at Joe Con. I'm Joe. This is Joe. Joe, say hello. Hello, I'm Joe. What's your favorite thing about Joe Con? Well, it's connecting with so many different Joes. I just really like it. All right. Let's see. Two Target gift cards. All right, I guess. Yep, Shin, his apprentice. Oh man, you should check out Ahsoka. Ahsoka's quite good. I really enjoyed it. I've got to mix a neck color to match too at some point, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to fix a spot that I missed though. The Gators, I need to heat that figure up when I get an extra and see if the Gators come off of those legs, because that would be a win for the versatility of the figure. Also, if you can, smack the like button. Click share. That just lets YouTube know to like, hey, share this guy's stuff. Oh, Ant, you missed the start of the show where I showed my kit bashed. I used the body that you sent over. Gave him some hands. Gave him a clone pilot helmet I have to peg in. But I'll be using that for the body. I'm digging on that. Oh! His head came all the way off. God damn it, that man had a family. Okay. The greaves on Balin don't come off. What if I pull really hard with my teethies? If I just grab hold of it with my mouth and just like a fucking canine. You already tried? Did you do like I said and try and growl like a canine? Bet you didn't. Off camera, of course, I'm doing it off camera because I'm holding it next to my face because I can't see. Just tracing all the lines on the sculpt with a little bit of black paint. Almost like panel lining it. And it's a little more pronounced than a wash, which is kind of what I want. And I will do a wash on this figure, but I figure if I do this now, it'll help bring out some of the details in the sculpt. And if the wash doesn't settle into some of the recesses, they've already been taken care of. There we go. Give you guys that, at least give you that view. Just helps give him a little bit more character, I think. And he'll get my, you know, Famine Studios world famous dry brush treatment at the very end, because I can't ever leave things alone. I considered giving him silver teeth too, but I elected not to. Or even gold teeth. You know, the notion with the silver teeth was like, okay, maybe this dude like ripped out his teeth and had them replaced by a slicer so that he was more aggressive appearing. Let's see. I may have just changed my own mind. Not on the teeth thing. That's decided. Copper. Let's go copper. Oh, that figure doesn't want to. What's up, Jabbalon? I did one gold tooth on that pirate that I'm working on with the cannon for the arm. So I'm not going to go nuts with that. Give me a dry brush. Huh? Trying to get away. Okay. I'm just gonna. Hell yeah. That's a little too much, but I can go back in with the black and tighten that up, which I think I will. Subdue that copper, or maybe I could do a verdigris on there. A patina, as it were. Okay. So let's now go back in with the black with the other paintbrush. Mop up some of that. Subdue some of that copper color. I'm not trying to kill the whole vibe, just trying to make it less shiny. Some of it will still be there. I wouldn't know, there's no Rosses here. Ross does not see any monetary value in New York State. At least not New York State near me. Ollie's has been weird lately. Like usually Ollie's was the place to go, and now they just ain't got shit. I hear about like, oh, Ollie's got this great thing, and I'll zip over to my Ollie's and there's nothing. And if I'm somewhere else, I'll zip over to another Ollie's and there's nothing. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm so limited in what I collect and what I choose to like utilize in my figures and stuff, my world building. But man, I don't know. Just does not seem like they give a shit about our locale. That's dope. That's what's up. Augusta, Georgia? And if anybody saw what I did there, is I took some water just to thin the black down enough so that it's almost transparent, almost like a wash, but it's still got that acrylic heavier medium in there. And going over that copper, it's really like it's hitting the right way that I want it to. that's what's up. Same with the back. Okay. Now, I want to do his shoulder armor and his gauntlets. But I feel like the shoulder armor should be a really dark silver, like gunmetal. Fam, and you use gunmetal on almost every figure that you do. Don't you have any original ideas? I gotta be honest with you, I don't. Pretty much a one-trick pony over here on this channel. Paint some shit, put a wash on it, and also maybe put a powder, fucking powder rub on it. So can't help you. That's all I got. Well, Famine, why don't you learn something new? Well, why don't you fucking learn something new? How about that? What am I, the goddamn Library of Alexandria over here? Nice. Nice. Hell yeah, brother. Looks more and more night-like, which is what I want. And I'll do his gauntlets and his hand plates too while I'm here. That's fucking dope. Nice. Wait. There we go. So he's got some Cortorsis armor on his wrists and shoulders. Boy, the lighting in here sucks today. I mean, it always sucks. You just have a better setup usually. Shut up, you. As far as the buckle goes, let me use this brush that I had that black on. I'll use this gunmetal to detail the whole buckle. And then I'll come back in later and paint that stone that's on there. But I do want to have the buckle painted up nicely. Oh, I see a spot I missed. Okay. We got on the brush here. Hit a couple of the high points. Cool, cool, cool. Now I feel like the tunic part, it's like it's all black, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just so visually, I think it needs something. Even if it's just more black paint. Could be. Could be. Could be just to subdue that glossiness of the black. Adding some of this to it isn't going to hurt anything. Good texture and everything on there too. It's just it doesn't when you start to do the stuff that I did with the rest of the figure, you start to see what areas are kind of bland or are lacking. And so if you're like me and you can't leave well enough alone, start doing things like this. And he's got some buckles on his greaves on his... Is that what you call them, Bjorn? Greaves? Okay. So I'll go ahead and take a touch of that silver. Just hit these buckles one time. And it's like, why go through all the trouble of detailing something like this? Because it's fun. That's dope. How long did that bash take you to put together? Cool. Now, timber. Couple minutes. Okay. All right. Show off. What? since the spats, gators, greaves, or whatever these are, have the same pattern as the chest armor, I'm going to do the same thing that I did to the chest armor, and then I'll just go back and paint the straps and buckles again, but it'll give them that appearance of being made of the same material as the tunic or chest armor, whatever we're calling that. Calling it a tunic, the end. Until somebody comes along on the internet and tells me I'm wrong, because that's what the internet's for. That and for pornography. The internet is for corn. The internet is for corn. So grab your stick and start to double click. The internet is for corn. It's true, it's a song, I heard it. Song Time with Famine Studios, brought to you in part by Bayer Aspirin. Our company's done terrible things, but at least your headache's gone. Bayer. And Walmart, the single largest occupant and user of government subsidy programs for its employees. But hey, at least you can get a TV for $35. Walmart. I like to do these things where I ensure that I never get sponsors in the future. And that was one of them. To be fair, I would not take a sponsorship from a mega corporation like that. And I'm not easily bought, but also, like, you couldn't buy me with that type of stuff. Oh my goodness, it's raining outside. Greaves or leggings? Yeah, so they're gators or spats. Also, a spat is what police call it when they don't want to do their job and they show up to a couple fighting. Oh, it's just the lover's spat, that's all. Let's go. You two be careful. Did it seem like she was blinking at you in Morse code? It did seem like it. Ah, well, those crazy kids. And then they leave that poor lady. And what color will the crystal on his belt buckle be? What's that? Red, you say? Good call. It's amazing you're 100% right on that. It's almost like unpredictable. Doing slaughter red, because that is my thinnest red. Got the tip into a really fine thing. Dip it into that runny red. Okay. Little crystal on his belt buckle's done. And next, gotta do that neck color. But I kind of want to let this thing dry for a hot minute. Peachy flesh. Brownish decay. Let's see. Do. Get a little brownish decay here on your brush. Put it on the flesh of the space fella here. And then we'll also do a pass on our alien guy. Help marry the two together. And again, he will get the unifying dry brush towards the end. But it did bring out some scars on this sculpt. That's dope. Apparently there's some scars on this guy's eyebrows that were never brought to the forefront of the design. Cool. Let that dry. Let's see what I missed in the chat. It's gonna be a hot minute. It's gotta be a hot minute. For legal purposes, I don't know what to tell you. Also, since I've got it out, take the copper. We'll just add some copper to the lightsaber hilt. Because I do want him to have this medieval looking hilt, and I don't feel like changing it to a red saber. But I could always go over it with a transparent red paint, which would help make that blade sing a little bit more red, but we'll see. The intention is to just edit the photo with the lightsaber color, so you know, like that cool guy Wentzilla does with his crazy like photography and stuff. I don't know if you all have ever heard of him, Wenzel at Reboot. You should check out his channel if you haven't already. He does some really cool stuff. Hang on a second. Would a Sharpie work for what? For adding details to the lightsaber or for the blade? I don't know. I can tell you from cosplay, I've seen people use Sharpies for sunglass lenses. They color one side, then they color the inside, then they go back over, and they just do it repeatedly until it adds the tint to whatever it is they're working on. So, I mean, you could try it. It certainly isn't going to hurt as long as you let it dry. That's always a rule that everybody seems to forget, is that you've got to kind of let things dry. Now I'm just doing another pass at the wash, just to make sure everything kind of blends together better. Then you saw me put hot glue in there. That was just to ensure the ball was snug. The ball joint. Dope, dope. I'm gonna mute you and I'm gonna blast this with a heat gun. Where's the gnome oil? Famine, what do you need gnome oil for? I'll show you. Null oil out and the contrast. Null oil is for the belt buckle and the shoulder pads. Let's see if I can do this without spilling it all over the goddamn place like previous times. Oh, it's expensive. It's an expensive mistake. What's that, oh, Christ. You're my greatest mistake. Who the fuck sings that song? You can tell I'm tired because usually music trivia is my jam. Sheryl Crow, thank you. I could think of other Sheryl Crow songs, but I could not, all I want to do is have some fun, but I just couldn't think of Sheryl Crow's name. And on his forearm armor, I'm only doing the null oil on the recess parts because I think it looks neat. But that looks better. That looks good. Now, look at that. Closed it all the way. Didn't fucking spill it all over the place. Haha! Famine 1, null oil. Like 5. Take a little bit of this fire sooth. Use your words. Contrast Fire Slayer flesh. Get a lot of that out of the brush. Don't know why I put so much on there. Just go over that face one more time. And now, for the magic of theater, take a light flesh color, shake the shit out of it. Oh, I got it excited and the tip started to drool. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm a child. Okay. There. Pretty much get this brush dry because I want a dry brush. Give them a little more character. Get a little out of the brush there. Hit his neck. Immediately realize my mistake. Come in with another brush to pull it away. Slightly panic. Because what have I done? It's okay. It's quite all right. We're going to survive. And we will celebrate our Independence Day. Or something like that. That's two. The only Independence Day that I'll be celebrating this year is when Bill Pullman fucking helped Will Smith beat the aliens. Okay, and now I just need to give his eyeballs a color. I thought about trying to do Sith eyes, but again, in my headcanon, this gentleman is not a Sith. So, I think I'm going to do a tiny, hold your breath, tiny dip of, we'll do matte white and pray to baby Weezer that I didn't fluff this up. That's way too much white paint. Okay. This really is a famine hold your breath moment, so if you'll all just of course there's one. There's a hair that went rogue on that brush. Got it. What is it with this random stray? Did I get it that time? I don't trust this brush because of that random stray hair. Yep, it's still there. Use a different brush. Okay, try that again. This really is a famine hold your breath. Don't fuck it up. Cool. Got that. Actually, let me get some of that transparent red again. It's a lot of red. Peachy flesh. Did we use peachy flesh yet? I don't think we did. Just take a little bit of that peachy flesh. Yeah, you did hear a train. Because I live on the wrong side of the tracks. Ba-ba-bam. Okay, peachy flesh there. Peachy flesh around the corners of the eyes. Just adds a little bit of depth. Blend it down to the cheeks. All right, I'm calling them done. Cool. So now I've got a dark side assassin, an obsessed occultist, and there he is. So I will post some better pictures of my story. I'm gonna blast him with some super clear, let him dry, and call him good. So thank you guys for tuning in to another one of my Famines. What did we call it last week? Famines Customs in about an hour or something like that. Something equally ridiculous. But I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you for my patrons. If you like what you see, you want to support the arts, by the arts I mean me, patreon.com/FamineStudiosX. Also on Instagram, you guys can see my work over there. And I hope you have an excellent dry night. Be well. As always, too sweet me. Be good, guys.